No one in the interstellar Concorde remembered seeing a human look as confused as James Halley did when his assignment displayed on the holographic slate dot across the grand Hall of Pairings. Humans and aliens cheered as they were matched with their diplomatic partners, some to aid in interspecies research, some to co-govern colonies, some to share cultural exchanges, but James got her Queen Rose of the Zinthri Dominion, a name that echoed like a thunderclap across star systems. A warrior monarch. A ruler whose armies had crushed 3 invasions before she was 20. The woman whose temper was described in military manuals as a class red hazard. Everyone else got friendly scholars, soft-spoken ambassadors, gentle diplomats. James got the galaxy's most feared Queen. Point 1. The assignment. No one wanted. The hall fell silent when her hologram appeared beside his, a towering figure 6.5 feet tall, with glowing emerald eyes and luminous silver markings across her skin. She carried herself like a storm wrapped in royal armor, and she looked furious. In the crowd, whispers erupted. Why a human? Is this a political insult? Will he survive the first day? James swallowed. He muttered to the AI registrar, I think there's been a mistake. There is no mistake, the AI replied in a neutral tone. Compatibility score 92%. Emotional projection synergy, optimal. Cooperative potential, extraordinary. James blinked. Extraordinary? She looks like she'd break senators for breakfast. Across the hall, Rose tilted her head at him, her expression unreadable. Her presence impossibly heavy, yet she approached. Every alien stepped out of her way. Even humans instinctively moved aside. James braced himself. Instead of roaring or demanding an explanation, she stopped before him and said in a voice smoother than expected, You are smaller than I imagined. And you are much taller than I expected. He replied. The hall exhaled as if both had just defused a bomb. 2. A queen who trusts no one. Rose led him to her star cruiser, the Vularion, a leviathan of obsidian metal and pulsing organic circuitry. James tried to catalog everything, only to find the ship resisted even scanners. Zinthri tech was alive. Literally alive. Rose walked beside him, silent as a judgment. Finally he blurted, Are you okay with this pairing? She didn't look at him. No, oh great. But I trust the pairing accord. There must be something I do not yet understand. James couldn't help smiling. So you're not planning on killing me? Not unless you attempt treachery. He froze, then she added, It was a joke. A terrible joke. Delivered with the flatness of a falling meteor. James groaned. I'm definitely going to die. Rose's eyes shimmered, amused. Not if you keep being interesting. 3. The Queen's secret. The first 2 days aboard the Vularion were a test of endurance. Zinthri foods nearly made him hallucinate. Exercise routines nearly killed him. Royal etiquette nearly broke his spine, but Rose watched him. Quiet, calculating, measuring something invisible. On the 3rd night, she summoned him to the observation deck. Sit. Can I die sitting, or should I stand? Her lips twitched, barely, but enough to shock him. Human James, she said, do you know why I accepted the pairing directive? Because your empire forced you. No, because I needed someone different. She looked out at the stars, her powerful arms folded behind her. In my court, everyone bows. Everyone fears me. Everyone lies. James's voice softened. You wanted someone who doesn't. For centuries, she said quietly, I have had no equal. No one who would challenge me. No one who would push back. Zinthri males, they kneel too easily. She turned, her eyes piercing. But you complain. You ask questions. You speak to me like I am mortal. James swallowed. Should I stop? No, she said firmly. Never stop. 4. The test of the Dominion. Their bond grew slowly, awkwardly, but undeniably. James discovered Rose wasn't just fierce, she was brilliant. A strategist, a scholar of war and peace, a woman burdened with a crown she never asked for, but the Zinthri High Council didn't care. They opposed the pairing. They hated humans. And they thought Rose's match was political weakness. So they issued a challenge, a public trial. Broadcast across her empire. James would undergo the gauntlet of worth, a deadly arena designed for warrior. Species certain death for a human. Rose exploded with fury. I forbid it. He is not trained, he is not conditioned, this is cruelty. The council smirked. Then renounce your human mate. She froze. James stepped forward. Rose, let me try. She rounded on him. You will die. Maybe, but if I run, they'll use me as a reason to strip your throne? Her jaw clenched. Pain flickered in her eyes. James, she whispered, I do not want to lose you. He touched her arm gently, something no one in the Dominion would dare. You won't. 5. Humans aren't the weak ones. The gauntlet was infamous razor drones. Shifting platforms, gravity traps, aliens watched expecting a human massacre, but James wasn't like other species. He was human, adaptable, stubborn, impossible to break. He dodged drones with soldier instincts. Leapt over gravity wells using reflexes honed from Earth sports. Crawled, rolled, fought, strategized. Where other species relied on strength, he used unpredictability. Where they charged, he improvised. Where they panicked, he laughed. And here we thought, humans were fragile. One Zinthari whispered. Rose watched from her throne. Boxer fingers gripping the railing so tightly the metal dented, but when James reached the final platform, bleeding, exhausted, barely conscious, he did something no Zinthari warrior had ever done. He stood tall, looked straight into the camera and said, I'm not strong because I fight alone. I'm strong because I fight for someone. And I choose her. He pointed at Rose. The arena erupted. The queen, who had never once shown vulnerability before her empire, stood with trembling breath. 6. A queen claims. Her mate James collapsed. Rose teleported into the arena, catching him before he hit the ground. He blinked up at her. So, did I pass? She pressed her forehead to his Zinthari sign of claiming. You did more than pass. She whispered, you conquered my entire people. The crowd roared as she lifted him in her arms. A fierce alien queen and her very human, very stubborn, very impossible mate. And for the first time in galactic history, her smile was real.